Hello, and welcome back to the Portland Myofascial Release Self-Care Series. Today, I'm going to answer a question that we received on our Facebook page about how to take care of our ribs, how to do self-care for the ribs when you can't get in to see your therapist. I'm going to use a few things to help me with this. I'm going to use a tool called the Thumb Bee to get deep into this. I'm going to use a Cranial Cradle. I'm going to use one of our therapy balls that we give out to patients here at the clinic. I'm going to use a Gertie Ball, and I'm going to use a foam roller. When working on the ribs, be aware of all of the musculature that attaches to your rib cage that can be pulling ribs out of place or could be exacerbating an injury to the intercostal muscles. Those intercostal muscles are the muscles in between your ribs. Also, be aware not to be putting too much pressure into your ribs, especially your floating ribs, your lower ribs, especially in the back here. They have less protection and attachment. Also be aware in the front, some of us have a place right here called a xiphoid process below the sternum. And that place can be sensitive, and if we put too much pressure on it, we can even hurt, crack it, break it, or damage it. So just be very careful in working on yourself. Be aware of any pain you're feeling, and don't push too hard into it. And with any of these techniques, as with all of our myofascial release techniques, 3 to 5 minutes or even longer is a good time limit once you've found that sweet spot. All right, I'm going to start first with the Gertie Ball. It's one of our easiest, softest, and I'm going to get that Gertie Ball into my low ribs here and just put some pressure into the side of my ribs. Feel if that helps or hurts, if it creates any pain. You can also take this arm, put it up over your head and lean in. That'll help pull your ribs down while allowing the attachments, your pectoralis muscles, your lats, your teres, your other muscles in the back of your scapula and arm, and the muscles in the front of your arm to release, to open up and elongate while keeping your ribs down. So this one can be a great one for helping any rib pain that's exacerbated by tight muscles in your shoulder. Without any tools, you can use your fingers and run those through the intercostal muscles. You can run them either from the front around towards the back, running through until you find a sore space right there, and then just staying and waiting with it. Breathing into that work can help a lot as well. It can be hard to get the muscles on the back, however, and that's when I turn to a Thumb Bee. So this Thumb Bee is a silicone cone, and it was designed to kind of have the same force and pressure as your thumb. So I can put that against the wall, kind of find a sensitive space, stuck spot or a sore muscle, and lean into it. And just allow those muscles to open up gently. Don't force them. Wait at a barrier. Feel if you can feel that muscular fascial barrier, and then wait and wait and feel into it, and it will eventually begin to open up, and that pain should begin to dissipate. If that pain increases, back off and ease up. Another great tool that you should have at home is a foam roller. This is a fairly large diameter foam roller, but half length. It can be pretty useful in this task. I'm going to lean against the wall and put that right into my sternum. And then I'm going to move it a little to the side. That's where the insertions of the rib heads are. And put just enough pressure in there to open up. You can feel which of these insertions of the rib heads need a little bit more pressure, which ones are stuck, and which ones open up. You can do most of these with your shirt off. It's better to have skin contact with either your hand or the tool. You can do the same thing on the posterior, where the ribs all come around and meet back up with your spine. So just to the side of the spine, lean in. If you need more pressure, you can lay on this on the floor, but again, be gentle. Don't be too hard on your back, and feel if there's anything else that's getting stuck while you're opening up. You may need pillows or other things in order to get yourself into a good position. Our therapy ball that we give out, I call this the therapist you take home with you. And you can use this up under your armpit. I have people push it towards the back into a muscle right here called the teres muscle. You can also get into the muscles of your rotator cuff, supraspinatus, and then just ease in. Let the pressure of your arm, the weight of your arm, open up the ribs. You can do it the other way as well and bring it forward, more up into the pectoralis. It's a great, useful ball to have around. I'll usually keep one in my car and one at home. You can use it in so many ways. The last tool was this Cranial Cradle. You can use it similar to how I showed you to use the foam roller, but you use it into both insertions on both sides of the sternum or the spine at the same time. So to do the rib insertions on your spine, I'm just going to lean against it. You can also do this laying down as you could with the foam roller. When doing the front side though, when putting this by your sternum, I highly recommend you lean against a wall instead of using the floor. It just doesn't have as much force. But if this doesn't give you enough force, then you can move to the floor. All right, so we've got the Cranial Cradle. You can find any of these online. Cranial Cradle, the Thumbie, the Gertie Ball, the foam roller, and our 4-inch therapy ball that we carry here in the office.